Yeah.
And just open-ended, any comments you want to give to like my generation, the younger generation, or just any generation.
Legally arm yourselves and unify, or else you will die. And I mean that in the literal sense. You see on the news all the time, Renee, you know, everybody say her name, Renee. Right? She just got shot in the face by ICE, right? This is a real thing, and they're not gonna stop. And the more they hurt people and get away with it, the more they gonna get that momentum to keep going. So everybody needs to unify and come together, and everybody needs to arm themselves, right? Because the revolution is in the barrel of a gun, whether you believe it or not. You want to be comfortable and you want to be nice. You don't want no confrontation. Look, Huey P. Newton said it the best. Anybody without a gun is either a slave or they're about to be one. You know? So, and people worried about people being scared of him. Huey P. Newton also said this when somebody asked him, don't you think the Black Panther Party is scary? Don't you think it's scaring people? He said, my people have been the ones afraid. Hey, sister, we got free groceries over here. Free hot soup and free clothes. He said, my people be the one afraid for hundreds of years. So if you're saying people scared of us now, that's a compliment. That means we're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather be scared of ICE? Would you rather be scared of the slave catcher, the police? Would you rather be scared of the government forces that are working against the people? Or would you rather be them scared to mess with you? That's for you to choose. That's for you to decide. Unify and arm yourselves and keep this mentality all the time. All power to the people.
All power to the people. Where can people find you? Like on social media?
I'm Chairman Paul Birdsong on Instagram. You can find the Black Panther Party for self-defense on TikTok and Instagram. Black Panther Party is split up by chapter, so whatever state you are in, if there's a chapter there, type in BPP and the name of your state and it should pop up.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So my sister actually told me about these people in town who are now infiltrating themselves as the Black Panthers. And you know, I've watched several videos and so many people are falling for these people. They think these people are the real Black Panthers that they had in the days. You know, Black Panthers they had way back were really fighting for people, especially, you know, Black people, you know, they help end all this police brutality and everything. But then these ones who are actually trending right now, allegedly, are Tethers. Anyways, I don't know. Watch these videos and tell me what you think. I think I should hear more from you, right? Let's watch these videos. Do not forget that this video is not in any means to cause violence or anything, right? It's just for education and entertainment. So this is a disclaimer. Anyways, credits to those creators. Let's watch those videos. I'll be back with the commentaries. Let's go.
So now we got Tethers faking being Black Panthers, because Black Panthers been around forever. And they even have, especially here in Milwaukee, I know the Black Panthers here, I don't know what they call themselves, but it was all over TikTok. It was all over YouTube. The Black Panthers here got a beauty supply store. It's called Beauty Island. They got that motherfucker. They stopped people from going to Beauty Island. Beauty Island used to be cracking. They stopped people from going to Beauty Island because the motherfucking either Asians or Hispanics that own Beauty Island did something to a Black woman. And they went up in that motherfucker and threatened them. And then they told all Black folks, don't go to Beauty Island no more. People don't go to Beauty Island like that no more. Beauty Island used to be cracking. It's on Fond du Lac. But anywho, we have Tethers pretending to be Black Panthers, right? Right. So we know Black Panthers is gone for Black folks, right? FBA, we are no longer a part of whatever they go, because if we say we Black Panthers, they already saying FBA a hate group. So if we say, okay, we the new Black Panthers, we're gonna be a terrorist group. So one, we gotta stop talking and showing. Two, we gotta come up with a name for us that we say only by word of mouth. You can't say this shit on TikTok. You can't say this shit on Facebook. You can't say this shit on no social media. Word of mouth is a motherfucker. And that's how we're going to have to get the word out. But we have Tethers faking as our ancestors, the old Black Panthers. They ain't even got the fucking hurt. They getting paid for it. The old Black Panthers was literally genuinely helping us. But yeah, Black Panthers, they are all over that. We're going to have to come up with a new name. Since they claiming us a militia, we're going to have to come up with a new name. shit, they let they militias go. So I guess it's gonna have to be FBA militia or some shit like that, because you know Mayo Native militias get to run around. So we should probably call ourselves a militia now instead of Black Panthers, because Tethers are taking over Black Panthers and anything black for real. Now everybody black. All them I know blacks are black now. So we're gonna have to come up with a new name for our so-called militia, because it can't be Black Panthers, because Tethers have infiltrated that.
Y'all, watch to the end. Watch this BS. Don't forget to watch the end. Watch to the end.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn.
Y'all, we've been too heavily infiltrated. We need to delineate like crazy. This is crazy at this point. At this point, this is so crazy. Like, he don't even represent us. No wonder he ran out of there. Like, all of a sudden, he's running out after this white tea woman, God rest her soul, gets hit. But, where were you before this? But now we see why. Now we see why he's doing what he's doing. Y'all, whatever. These people are a joke. Y'all, watch to the end. Watch this BS. Don't forget to watch the end. Watch to the end.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn.
Y'all, we've been too heavily infiltrated. We need to delineate like crazy. This is crazy at this point. At this point, this is so crazy. Like, he don't even represent us. No wonder he ran out of there. Like, all of a sudden, he's running out after this white tea woman, God rest her soul, gets hit. But, where were you before this? But now we see why. Now we see why he's doing what he's doing. Y'all, whatever. These people are a joke.
J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the FBI at the time, said this about the Black Panther Party. They are the greatest threat to internal security in the United States. This led to the FBI jailing and unaliving most of the members of the Black Panther Party during the late 60s and early 70s. So many lies have been told about the Black Panther Party, and I am here to let you know the facts so you can erase the lies. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966 by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. This was a revolutionary socialist organization that aimed to address systemic racism and injustice faced by Black Americans. The Black Panther Party made several significant positive contributions to society, especially in terms of advocacy for Black empowerment, social justice, and community welfare. Here are some key positive contributions the Black Panthers made. Let's start with the Free Breakfast for Children program. One of the most well-known Black Panther initiatives, this program provided free breakfast to thousands of Black children, addressing food insecurity and offering a model for community-based solutions to poverty. By 1971, the program was feeding over 20,000 children daily. The free health clinics. The Black Panther Party established medical clinics to provide health care to underserved communities, especially in black neighborhoods. These clinics provided basic health services, immunizations, and care to people who had often limited access to health care. The Black Panther Party also organized health education efforts, including teaching communities about disease prevention, nutrition, and safe practices for mental and physical health. The Black Panther Party had a newspaper. That newspaper addressed key issues such as police brutality, inequality, and the civil rights struggle. It became an influential voice for the black community and a vehicle for spreading revolutionary ideas. The Black Panther Party organized community schools and study groups to educate black children and adults about African American history, politics, and revolutionary thought. They also promoted critical thinking and political education to help people understand and combat systemic oppression. Patrolling the police. The Black Panther Party began the practice of police patrol, where members would follow police officers to monitor their conduct and ensure that they were not engaging in abusive practices, particularly in poor black neighborhoods. This action brought attention to police brutality and highlighted the need for reform. The Black Panther Party encouraged African Americans to arm themselves for self-defense, particularly against police violence. This was done under the legal framework of the Second Amendment, which we know they all love to this very day. And while controversial, it raised awareness about the power dynamics between law enforcement and black communities. The Black Panther Party also thought about the health of its people when it came to sickle cell anemia research. The Black Panther Party was one of the first organizations to highlight sickle cell anemia, a disease disproportionately affecting black people. They raised awareness and lobbied for research funding, which led to a greater attention to the condition and ultimately contributed to medical advancements. The Black Panther Party also recognized the need for mental health services and provided resources to help individuals cope with the trauma of systemic racism, violence, and poverty. This included peer counseling programs to assist those affected by mental health issues. They also had solidarity with other movements. The Black Panther Party aligned itself with international liberation movements and supported struggles against colonialism and imperialism, such as the fight for independence in Africa and solidarity with the Cuban and Vietnamese revolutions. The Black Panther Party worked to expose the systemic injustices within the criminal justice system, particularly the over-policing and mass incarceration of black people. They advocated for prison reform and were instrumental in bringing attention to the poor conditions and mistreatment of prisoners. The Black Panther Party's economic platform emphasized the need for equal access to jobs, affordable housing, and an end to economic exploitation. They advocated for a system that would address the needs of the poor and working class communities. They also had political engagement, voter registration, and political education. The Black Panther Party actively encouraged Black Americans to vote and engage in the political process. They understood that the political participation was the key to challenging and changing oppressive systems, and they organized efforts to increase voter turnout in black communities. Members of the Black Panther Party ran for political office and engaged in campaigns for political office. While they did not always win elections, their participation helped raise awareness about black empowerment and the need for better representation. The Black Panther Party played a major role in shaping the Black Power movement, which emphasized racial pride, self-determination, and the right of black people to control their own destinies. The Black Panther Party was an early example of intersectionality, acknowledging that the struggles of black women, queer individuals, and other marginalized groups within the black community were crucial to the movement. The Black Panther women were central to the party's leadership and advocacy work. Elaine Brown was even named the head of the Black Panther Party when Huey was incarcerated for a time. The Black Panther Party helped foster a sense of pride in the black identity and culture, encouraging black people to embrace their African heritage and reject negative stereotypes. Their emphasis on the Afrocentric cultural identity contributed to the broader cultural shift toward Black pride. Through their use of graphic design, visual art, and music, the Black Panther Party contributed to the cultural landscape of the 60s and 70s. The iconic imagery associated with the Black Panther Party, such as the clenched fists and the black beret, became symbols of resistance and empowerment. The Black Panther Party established chapters across the United States, providing a strong presence and leadership in many urban areas. These chapters not only acted as a means of resisting oppression, but also as hubs for community organizing and action. Many of their programs were visionary and laid the groundwork for future social justice movements, continuing to inspire activism to this day. I love you, Black man. I love you, Black woman. Knowledge is power, power to the people.
You're absolutely right. Information is easily accessible, and since it is, you should probably go research it, because I stand 10 toes down in what I said. There were no official white members of the Black Panther Party. Anybody y'all saw that were white that were a part of the Black Panther Party or associated with them was a part of the White Panther Party, because again, Huey P. Newton told them to organize amongst themselves. The White Panther Party were allies to the Black Panther Party. They took orders from Huey P. Newton. They were not official members of the Black Panther Party. Again, if you have people who are not black a part of the Black Panther Party, it wouldn't be the Black Panther Party, right? So another tidbit y'all are confusing is the Rainbow Coalition. The Rainbow Coalition has nothing to do with the Black Panther Party. It was a different organization that was led by Fred Hampton. And as far as the Latinos being involved in the Black Panther Party, they were a separate organization because they were called the Young Lords. So I'm not above of being corrected. I just want y'all to make sure that y'all are right before y'all try to come and correct me. Go look up that information.
Members of the Black Panther Party were seen at a U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement protest in Philadelphia following the murder of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. There they said, if we were there, not a single person would have gotten touched. The group also believes that ICE should be abolished and the current administration should be held accountable for its actions.
Y'all, I don't know what the F is going on. I'm about to show you something. So America is so desperate for us to get involved in this ICE fight that they presented a Black Panther group. Yeah, I'm about to show you the Black Panther group, okay, that they presented that's supposed to...
And on behalf of the Black Panther Party, well, this cop is a good cop and this cop is a good cop. Once they get to the slave catcher patrol, and I take it, they call the police officers now, but their name is slave catcher patrol. That's what they is. That's what they always have been. Every black officer out there, shame on you. You know how the black police officer came into fruition?
Ma'am, who are these people? Now, before I get into it, I appreciate anybody who is trying to stand up for justice, okay? Whether they are pink, red, green, whatever, right? However, what the fuck is this? Now, this is the most multicultural, this looks like the United Nations. And not only that, like, sis with the, like, striped dress, like, who is she running after? Like, who is she trying to fight? Like, how's she gonna fight in a dress? And then she had a little bow tie, her little tie on, her little ribbon. It just, I don't know what, I'm confused. I'm confused. This is not the Black Panther Party. This is more like the multicultural party. I don't know what's going on here. They are so desperate to try to get us involved that they're trying to put a makeshift group together and then put them out there, because first of all, how is this even getting pressed? Like, what have they even done to stop ICE? Like, I don't even know what's going on with this or whatever. I can't say at this point whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats. I used to think it was the Democrats, but now it's getting so ridiculous that it might be both of them. They may want like a civil war or something, because this is getting crazy. Then not only that, like, you see all these young streamers like going to Africa all of a sudden. All of a sudden, y'all want to go to Africa. And then first they tried Sierra, then they tried like a couple other people. I guess that didn't work. So now they're getting streamers involved to go to Africa. I mean, America is losing its mind, y'all. Like,
They are really doing a real big psyop and propaganda on us because we're delineating and we're not fighting for these people. They don't know what to do. They have no idea what to do. I think what's happening partly is I think the Republicans want an excuse to bear down on us. They want an excuse to bear down on us, okay? Like, I feel like the Republicans are like, you know, they're itching. They can legally go after the immigrants, right? They can legally go after them, but they can't really legally go after us, though they want to, because that would tie them up in courts and we could sue and all types of stuff. So I feel like in order for them to kind of get the situation under control, if we fight on behalf of other people that's illegal, then they have grounds to come after us. Okay, so that's step one. I think that's step one. I think that's what's going on. I think step two is the Democrats look very, very, very weak right now. Like super weak, super inept. And they keep complaining about what the Republicans are doing, but yet they're not doing anything. And that's raising questions too. Because it's like, okay, if you're supposed to be against these people and you're supposed to be fighting for us, how come you keep losing over and over again? How come you're not doing anything? Which kind of highlights the fact that all these people are in bed together, which I've been saying, which almost all of us knew. These people always been in bed together, always. And now that we're out of the equation and we're not fighting for all these dang on groups anymore, things are starting to, like, the mask has fallen off. And people are like, whoa, like, now they see what police brutality looks like. Now they see the Democrats ain't really helping nobody. Now they see that people are bullies and, you know, will do anything that they want to do. And there's no recourse, you know, at least not for years. And so I feel like they had, like, the Democrats, Republicans had some plans. They had some plans for America. And I feel like we were a key piece to that plan. And we're just not, and they just didn't have us not participating in their bingo card. Like, they just assumed we were going to constantly be reactionary. So I feel like they felt like whatever plan, and the small hats too, definitely the small hats, whatever plan they had, it was to get us to get involved so they can legally come after us, because they can't legally come after us for birthright citizenship. They can legally come after everybody else for birthright citizenship. And you see what happened to the young woman, Renee Good, God rest her soul, who got involved, who's obviously a citizen. But what did they do to her? They unalived her, right? To get to the immigrants. See, they want us to be that. They have to satisfy the YT men who are not elite, who are not college educated, but are very angry and want to, like, hurt somebody and want to oppress somebody. And they have to feed the wolves, or the wolves will turn against them. So those are the wolves. The elite YTs need to feed the bottom barrel YTs, or else those bottom barrel YTs will turn on them. So it's like, I remember somebody said, if you don't feed the wolves will eat you, right? So I think that they basically wanted us to be Renee Good. They wanted us to be the face of it, because it's very different when you unalive one of us in the face for defending immigrants. Everybody's used to that, and like, oh, those poor people, that's just too bad. It's very different when you're unaliving, even if she's LGBTQIA, which MAGA has a real big issue with. It's very different when you start unaliving her in front of her neighbors that look like her. So I think that, like, it's really hard, because if Trump keeps pushing, ICE keeps pushing, then the YT people have to make a decision. Like, the liberal YT people have to make a decision. Either they're going to concede and they're just going to bow down and accept it, or they're going to have to go into a civil war. And that could have all been avoided if we just got involved. If ethnic Black Americans just get involved, then the YT people, the liberal people, can just stay at home or hide behind us and just be like, oh, it's too bad they're getting, unalived, for everybody else's cause but their own. And the MAGA and the Republicans can justify, trying to press us and getting out all that racism on us or whatever, because we're getting in the way. But since we've removed ourselves from the equation, and we're like, well, we're not immigrants, so we don't have a problem. We're not going to get deported. Like, where are you going to deport us to? Like, back to Georgia, our origins, back to Virginia, back to South Carolina. Like, what? So we're good. And then it's like, well, and then we also found out that these people you want us to fight for don't ever fight for us. They're YT supremacists too. They agree with you all the time. So they might as well go fight their own battles. And so nobody gets to be safe anymore. Everybody has to like recalibrate. It's like it's like a team doesn't know what to do when the star player is sitting on the bench. Like, everybody's star player is sitting on the bench, whether it's the antagonist or the protagonist. So for the Democrats, they didn't appreciate their star player. They didn't want to pay us nothing. Every time we got credit for something, they wanted to take it away from us. And so the star player is like, yo, well, I'm just going to sit this one out. I'm going to sit these games out. And so the team is losing terribly. And now they're seeing that, like, who the star player really was. And the star player is like, well, I'm not participating. They're trying to get the star player to play and do everything they can possible, except for give the star player their credit, give the star player the contract that they asked for. And so the teams are losing terribly, and it's illuminating how terrible that team is without their star player. The other team is like, okay, cool, we're going in. But they're so used to, like, you know, everybody knows who the star player is, and they're used to, like, you know, defending and playing against that star player and being mean to that star player. And everybody's usually like cool with that. But now, since the star player is on the bench, now they have to bully every other person on the team to win. And now they look kind of like bad guys. They look kind of like who they are, wolves and mean people and terrible people. And now their bad habits and their bullying is being illuminated because everybody thought it was okay once it was that star player. Now the star player is out the picture, and they're bullying all the other players every single game. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, like, you guys are really like it's obvious. Like, you can't hide behind comply. You can't hide behind, you know, all this stuff, because now you're bullying everybody. And so, yeah, y'all just keep delineating, keep sitting out, keep telling these streamers like they're delusional for trying to pretend like somebody's paying them to go to Africa. It's probably these small hats, to be honest. Just keep sitting this one out. Delineation is so effective.
I know we've all have heard of the Black Panthers and the Brown Berets, but what if I told you there was a third group in the Rainbow Coalition? Let me introduce you to the White Panther Party. In 1968, Huey P. Newton was asked on a radio show how radical whites could help, and he quite literally said, form a White Panther Party. So they did. John Sinclair, a member of the Detroit rock band MC5 and activist, wanted to burn down the system in solidarity with Black and Brown liberation. They were so radical, the FBI labeled them one of the biggest threats to national security. Why? Because the government's biggest fear is Black, brown, and white radicals working together. They weren't just fighting for their own, they were fighting for each other. Who is the genius who actually brought these groups together in the streets of Chicago? Let me introduce you to Fred Hampton. In 1969, Chicago was one of the most segregated cities in the world, and the goal was to keep these groups fighting with each other for scraps. Hampton realized whether you were from the ghetto, the barrios, or the slums, the enemy was the same: poverty and police brutality. This wasn't just a photo op. They shared resources, protected each other's neighborhoods, and ran free health clinics. They proved that class solidarity was much stronger than racial division. The Rainbow Coalition wasn't just a name, it was a blueprint for the future. Are we ready to pick up where they left off? Leave a rainbow in the comments.
Hey guys, we gotta take some notes from the Black Panthers about what to do when there are armed men trying to kill you. Because they've been in this fight way longer than you and me. And they know a few things about resisting. And one of the things they were really into was armed militias to protect neighborhoods. And it's time to take some notes. I suggest this book, Black Against Empire. Learn from the activists that came before you.
The new Black Panther Party says that ICE should be abolished. Yeah, they caught up with the new Black Panther Party in Philadelphia, participating in a visual for old girl who lost her life in Minnesota. They were able to talk to one of the chairmen, Paul Birdsong. He said if he was in Minnesota, old girl would have never lost her life. Matter of fact, nobody would have been touched because they out here armed. Like back in the day in the 60s when they used to do those police patrol, making sure that officers conduct lawful stops, they out here with the same weaponry and the same training. He said they've been trained by older members, old school members from back then. And yeah, they're anti-ICE and that's their agenda. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Do you guys think that armed protesters will de-escalate the situation, or do you think that armed protesters will make matters worse? Because they sent additional hundreds of ICE agents into Minnesota on top of the thousands that they already sent out there last month. So I don't know if this new Black Panther Party have a new agenda than they did back in the 60s, but most definitely they're anti-ICE.
Can white people join the Black Panthers? I think we ready. What if I told you there was an organization that was specifically started for white people that supported the Black Panthers, but didn't want to interlope in what the Black Panthers were doing when it came to Black liberation? They were called the White Panthers. They were an anti-racist collective that was founded in 1968. Their founders were Pun Plamadon, Lenny, and John Sinclair. It was started because Huey P. Newton was asked what white people can do to support the Black Panthers, and his answer was to start a similar organization to stand with them. The group was deeply rooted in counterculture, rock and roll, marijuana legalization, free love, and psychedelic consciousness. They were based mostly in Detroit, and they had a chapter in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Seattle, and San Francisco. Similar to the Black Panther Party, they had a 10-point manifesto that was rooted in freedom, justice, and the abolition of oppressive systems. They also believed in free food, free land, free education, and free media for all people. Similar to the Black Panthers, the United States government got involved and said that they were conspiring to destroy government property. Two of their leaders, Don Plamadon and John Sinclair, got arrested, and they took their case all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that the Fourth Amendment shielded private conversation from surveillance unless a warrant had been granted. Sinclair and Plamadon were freed, but the effects of both imprisonment and the cost of the court cases led to the end of the White Panthers. They later changed their name to the Rainbow People's Party, but were disbanded in 1973.
So now everybody want to join the Black Panther Party. Why am I seeing white folks ask if they can join the Black Panther Party? Because for what? Answer me this. The Black Panther Party for self-defense. Who do you think the Black Panthers were defending themselves from? Quickly. And also, one of the strongest tenets of the Black Panther Party for self-defense was education. The fact that a lot of y'all were just in my comments just days ago telling me that you didn't learn about the Underground Railroad, which means I'm sure you don't know a damn thing about the Sinclair brothers. Like, do y'all think the Black Panther Party was a social club and like King T'Challa is gonna come out the back?
You ever notice how when black people protect themselves, it's called a threat? But when the government does it, it's called law and order. That's not coincidence, that's design. America didn't just criminalize violence, it criminalized independence, especially black independence. When the Black Panther Party started patrolling their own neighborhoods with legally owned guns, they weren't breaking any laws. They were following them. They studied the California Penal Code word for word. They knew their rights better than the police did. And the moment that scared the state wasn't the guns, it was the discipline, the order, the fact that young black men knew the law and used it to hold power accountable. So in 1967, the same year the Panthers walked into the Capitol, Ronald Reagan signed the Mulford Act, banning open carry in California, backed by the NRA, of course. Because once black people started exercising the Second Amendment suddenly needed limits. Go figure. That's the pattern. The right to bear arms was never the problem. It's who's bearing them that decides what's legal. The Panthers fed more children than the government ever did. Their free breakfast children's program started in 1969. And within months, it was feeding tens of thousands of children every morning. You know what J. Edgar Hoover called that? The greatest threat to the internal security of the United States. Feeding kids. That's what scared them. Because feeding kids meant self-sufficiency. It meant that a community could sustain itself without begging. And that's the thing about power. It can't survive when people stop depending on it. So they labeled the Panthers violent, infiltrated their chapters, and assassinated their leaders, all to stop a movement built on survival. They didn't just attack the movement, they attacked the image of it. They made sure the public only saw leather jackets and guns, not the clinics or the schools. They called them extremists for doing what the state refused to do. Because in this country, The second Black people get organized, it stops being civil rights and it starts being national security. And the most twisted part is that they later copied these same programs. The federal free breakfast program, modeled after the Panthers. The community health clinics, directly inspired by what the Panthers built. So they killed the movement and then built the blueprint out of its ashes. The playbook hadn't changed, it's just digital now. Back then, it was COINTELPRO. Now, it's data tracking, surveillance, facial recognition, and social media algorithms that flag words like revolt and self-defense. They don't need to assassinate leaders anymore. They just erase their reach. They don't raid homes, they just demonetize accounts now. And it's not just Black activists anymore. The same tactics that they used to target the Panthers are being used against anyone who challenges power. From protesters to journalists to organizers, the system evolved. But the goal stayed the same. Keep resistance fragmented, contained, and quiet enough to ignore. America didn't fear the gun. It feared what came with it. Self-determination. It feared the idea that people could feed, protect, and educate themselves without the state. And every time that idea rises, the same thing happens. New laws, new propaganda, new fear campaigns. They never feared our anger. They feared our organization, our care, our competence. Because once the people start building for themselves, the empire has no purpose left.
There was this video, and shout out to Sister Demetra for sharing this video with me, of this so-called Black Panther out there. I think he's in the Philadelphia area. And when I heard this video and heard exactly the wording this man was saying, something just went off in my spirit about this. And I want y'all to hear exactly what this guy is saying. I want y'all to hear this word for word. I want you to look at him too at the same time. I want you to look at him. And we got a lot of questions about this gentleman here, this so-called Black Panther. So let's go ahead on and check this out. The first time I watched this video, I was like, first of all, who is this guy? Number one. Number two, in my spirit, I didn't feel like, yeah, man, that brother, he really speaking about this, or he really standing on business. I didn't get none of that from him. You know what I was getting from him? William O'Neill vibes. If you remember, William O'Neill is the guy that was sent in to the Black Panther Party to help set up the assassination of Fred Hampton. That's what I get from this guy. Because I don't feel any of that he said is genuine. Because, listen, when we...
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for Black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are.
Oh boy, I find it funny. I find it funny that the Black Panthers didn't mobilize when Trayvon Martin and all the other black, unalive is happening in the country.
Yeah. And just open-ended, any comments you want to give to my generation, the younger generation, or just any generation?
Legally arm yourselves and unify, or else you will die. And I mean that in the literal sense. You see on the news all the time, Renee, everybody say her name, Renee. Right? She just got shot in the face by...
Oh boy, the left wing is finna... Oh, y'all gotta answer to that one. Because a lot of you black Democrats tell us that we're tap dancing for white folks. Meanwhile, somebody that's having the same fight as y'all don't protest, don't mobilize when black folks are killed, but their whole organization is formed for black folks. But they go form for a white woman. Oh God, that's the irony. Oh man. God. Oh man, that's wonderful.
Black Panther's a great movie, and it's one of my all-time favorites. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna be honest, when I look at the movie, I do see a high level of manipulation. So the main protagonist is from Oakland, California, but the movie called Black Panther, and that's where the Black Panthers first started. But if you search up Black Panther on Google now, you never gonna see nothing about Huey. You never gonna see nothing about Oakland, about the Black Panther movement. You only gonna see the superhero. That's insanity. That's crazy work. But let's go back to the main protagonist is from Oakland. It started in Oakland. That's where the Black Panther Party started. Like, you just don't know that. And I know there's gonna be a lot of black people that see this video. Obviously, you niggas know, but it's for all them other niggas that don't know. I have so many other people that watch me, so all the white people that be watching me, just know, gang, that's a manipulation. They put a smoke screen in front of everybody's face so you can't even learn if you wanted to. So for everybody that does not know what the Black Panther Party is, go take a look at it, and if you do, congratulations, you have knowledge. Now use that knowledge to better yourself and better your family, your friends, and everybody else around you. Peace and love, gang.
It's funny how people actually fall for these things, honestly. Let me tell you something now, Black Americans, and I'll have to be very, very, very brief with this, right? In everything you do, make sure to always ask God for the spirit of discernment so you can always know the things that are true. And so you don't fall into trouble. You don't get yourself hurt or get yourself, heartbroken most of the times. And that is why it's also in the Bible that you have to test all spirits to know if they are true. These people you're seeing here, in my own opinion, I might be wrong. I feel these people are people who just came out, right? They're Tethers, yeah. And they're trying to see how to lure Black Americans to come out of their hidings. Looking at the fact that Black Americans are not participating in anything protests, when it comes to this whole ICE, whatever, they are minding their businesses. They don't care anymore. They don't care about anything happening anymore. These people now surfaced, making it feel like, okay, we're all together. But let me tell you something. People who can discern are already beginning to say, no, these people are not us. They don't even sound like us. They don't even behave like us. What could this be? Do you understand? Now, it's now left for you to actually use your sense of discernment. Do not fall for things they're saying. Don't fall for things they're saying. Do not forget that you are resting and you should be resting. That is all I have to say. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment. Do not forget to subscribe. Like, share these videos, right? If you have anything you want to say, please say it. Let me also learn from you in the comments, right? Thank you so much for watching. My name is BJ and Global Just BJ. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.